What's that?
Bloopers. Bloopers.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to hit the red subscribe button down below so that you can keep up with all the craziness that is Spoonie and the Roomies. Today I am joined by my lovely husband, Sean. You guys will probably see him throughout certain videos. Sometimes we'll do vlogs that he's in, and sometimes I'll make him sit down and do some sit down videos with me. Get used to it, baby. But anyways, so today we are going to be comparing our pregnancy with Eliza, where I was 18 and he was 19.
Our pregnancy.
Yeah, you helped create these lives.
I know, I carried them.
And this pregnancy where I'm 23 and you're 24, almost 25.
Oh.
So.
All right, let's dig right into what's new with her. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. So, for starters, I think that in general, this pregnancy is completely different in every realm, I think, than last pregnancy. From my symptoms, my mood swings, hopefully, maybe a little bit.
She's definitely managed them better this time.
Like, I can tell now and be like, I'm sorry, I'm just this way today. And he'll be like, all right, I can handle that.
Typically, I just go like, hey, why don't you come back here? I have some, like, pregnancy cookies back here or something.
He'll just be like, boom, knock out.
Like, I shut the door real quick, and I start barring it, and then she's stuck in that room, and I make sure to slide foods and, like, rations and stuff under the door, but until it breaks. The real
reason that I have so many YouTube videos ready already.
I come into the room, there's claws all throughout the room walls and stuff, and... Like
today, I was very emotional today. I was very sensitive today, especially, like, this morning. So, I guess we'll start with, add notes. I do have notes. Okay. The way people reacted, like our friends and family, how they reacted to this pregnancy versus our pregnancy with Eliza.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I think that, well, friends and family, I think was split kind of 50-50 with Eliza, but I think that it was this time too, as far as, for different reasons. Like, for Eliza, I think that the people that were worried and actually voiced their worries to us were more of like, we hadn't been together all that long, and, you know, throwing a baby into the mix is really crazy, and we were young, and like, I was working a part-time job, and, like, there was so much. So, I think the people that voiced their opinions, I mean, looking back, you know, they were just worried about us. They were concerned about us. There weren't a lot of people, though, and a lot of people were like, oh, congrats, that's great. Whereas I feel like this time around, our friends and family, I do think that there's still some concern just because we're going from one child to two, and most people, as much as they love our daughter, know that she can be quite a handful sometimes. And so, I think, the few worries that have been voiced are more like, how are you gonna fit 4 people in that house? And, like, financially, are you guys gonna be okay? Things like that. And at the end of the day, yeah, we are. It's gonna be an adjustment.
Finances is the smallest thing that you have to worry about with a kid, and I say that completely, and everybody's gonna jump. That's the first thing that everybody says, how are you gonna afford it? You find out how you're going to afford it.
Yeah, like, you
that
do or you
how
don't. Like,
it is.
yeah.
And the biggest thing is the commitment that you're giving to a child's life. That is the biggest thing. If anybody tells you otherwise, they haven't raised a child.
As well as to each other, because regardless of if you're together, if you're married, if you're dating, if you hate each other's guts, if you were a one-night stand, that's somebody that you're going to be spending the rest of your life with to some extent. Plain and simple. If you plan on being in that child's life...
I'm sorry. I'm tired.
If you plan on being in that child's life, that's somebody that you're going to be in contact with forever. Plain and simple. But I feel like there are a lot more of the congratulations that we got and the excitement that we got was a lot more genuine this time around. So that was definitely a big difference.
Absolutely. I think everybody was a lot more excited. I didn't hear any negative things personally. This time around, now everybody understands. They've seen what we did with Eliza. We've done great, and we're gonna do great with this one.
I think people were impressed.
Yeah.
But that's what we do. We work hard for our kids.
Heck yeah, my little Eliza fuzz.
Right. All right. How random people react. So when I was pregnant as an 18-year-old, probably looking anywhere from the range of 16 to 19, I had a baby face. I still kind of do. And working part-time, so I worked at Denny's for a little bit, and then I was working at a movie theater, and then I worked at the Y. But I think that people were like, oh, wow, you're pregnant. What did you do to yourself? Again, they were concerned because these were especially when I worked at the Y, these were parents, so they understood how hard it is to have a child, the struggles that you go through with a child, and being like, wow, I couldn't imagine doing that at 18. And that was almost always the second question was, how old are you? How old are you? Was it planned? Are you still with the father? Those were the questions I got all the time.
I always had the same answer to that question even before we had kids, before I knew Sam. The answer to the question, how old are you, has always been old enough.
Yeah, obviously.
And I think it works in a lot of ways. You can have fun with it too. Because whenever somebody asks you if you're old enough, and I go, or how old you are, and I say old enough, and they're just like, yeah.
How old are you, Sonny, to be working on the wires in my house? Old enough.
Old enough. Not that old. No.
I think that it's important to say in that scenario, A, we were both legal adults. We were both over the age of 18. B, we were both consenting adults, obviously. Otherwise, we wouldn't still be together.
I wasn't consenting.
Don't say that. I'm cutting that out.
I'm going to sprinkle that in at every point in this video.
He's just going to be in the comments, be like, I never consented to this. She trapped me.
Even the video.
Ooh, I need to write that down. That's a good rage video for me.
Oh, how we're treated.
How we're treated in public. So I feel like when we were 18 and 19 years old and I was pregnant, people stared hardcore. And it wasn't even always at my belly. It was at the two of us, or at my hand to see if there was a ring. But then I feel like there was just as much judgment when I was pregnant and there was a ring, because then it was they're getting married because she's pregnant.
I feel bad for her in that means, because everywhere I walk with my princess, if we're going, especially if we're by ourselves or things like that, I'm going to the grocery store to pick up pharmaceuticals or something, or ice cream, whatever we're doing, together, they're just like, oh, look at that guy and his little girl. Oh my gosh, she's so adorable. Oh, they look the same. Like, oh wow, that's
They're the same person.
Yeah, they go nuts, and they're just like, oh wow, you guys are so adorable. I just want to, and I find myself being hit on by a lot of older women, and I'm like,
It's because people don't believe that we're together.
Me neither.
But I do think, like, not to say that it's any easier for, like, male versus female, because, like, you deal with all my hormones and craziness.
Nope.
But, like, at the end of the day, like, he got to go to work, he got to go walk away and be like, yeah, my girlfriend's having a baby. And people were like, ah, cool. Whereas, like, with me, like, I carried a baby. So I didn't get to, like, separate myself. I didn't get to go to work and just be a normal person for those 8 hours. And so, like, I was always getting judgment. The best judgment I think we ever got, though, was when, like, we would go out with a whole bunch of his friends. And then people would, like, stare and be like, I wonder who the baby daddy is.
And I'm just sitting there rolling the dice. Not me.
Like, at the end of the day, like, by the end of my pregnancy, I think that we learned to just kind of let it roll off our shoulder and be like, whatever. By the end of my pregnancy, I feel like I was a lot more confident about it, too. And it was like, at the end of the day, I was like, this is my baby. Screw you guys.
Well, and then going back to our previous video on bullying, I think it made a stronger person out of her.
But, like, I don't get that now. Now I get, oh, that's so sweet. Is your daughter excited? And is your husband, like, you and your husband must be so excited. And it's crazy to think that 4 years makes that big of a difference.
Well, and I think it's also the fact that everybody in town knows her now because everybody knows me.
That's truth.
So.
But just, like, yeah, it's just crazy to think that 4 years and a ring and a toddler make a difference. But, like, in all reality, like, we have quite a few friends who have more than one father to their children. And so, like, but I don't get asked those questions anymore. I don't get asked, like, oh, who's the father? And, like, honestly, 9 times out of 10, we're not even wearing our wedding rings. So it's not like people can tell that I'm married. And I mean, like, I guess that people kind of guess because, like, Eliza and I will talk and I'll be like, yeah, daddy's gonna be home. But that, again, that doesn't necessarily mean that he is the daddy that I'm talking about. Because, again, we have friends who have more than one father to their children who the second father is more of a father than the first one was. And depending on how old the child is when, you know, there's so much involved. But I do think that the judgment is a lot less harsh. I also have a full-time job now, which I think helps a little bit.
Absolutely. I think that pretty much... What else do you think?
I mean,
It's
I
a
was
dangerous
just...
question I should ask.
I was just gonna basically just, like, sum it up and be like... And, you know, just kind of be like, yeah... I do, like, I think that there's a stigma in being a teen parent, even though we were barely teens. I wasn't I was 18 when I got pregnant, and he was 19. And I turned... No.
No, I was... You
yeah,
were
I
19.
was... No, I was 18. I turned 19 while I was pregnant.
I was 20. Because it was in August, October area.
Yeah, that's right. So you were 20.
Yeah, so I was 13.
Yeah, so...
I beat teen pregnancy.
I remember that, right. And we were like, but are we even teen parents in all honesty? Because it's not like we were still in high school. And I do think that that's part of the teen parent stigma. But at the end of the day, I think that it doesn't matter how old you are as long as your first priority is that child.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, there's a huge difference. It's crazy. And I'm only halfway through this pregnancy.
So if you're a teen and you're pregnant, push through it. Show everybody else that they're wrong and beat it up. So.
I mean, yes and no. Like, in no ways do we encourage teen pregnancy. In no way do we encourage having children young if that's not something that you want. I do want to very much clarify,
It's an enormous responsibility.
it is a huge responsibility. You have to completely readjust your priorities. You can't always do the things that you want to do.
Ever.
And
We wouldn't have it any other way.
truth. And just about every parent, young and old, that I know would not change it for the world.
Yeah, they're absolutely amazing and so much fun. So.
Alright guys, well that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video. Bye!
Bye!